Well, they just heard me rattling on about how mankind's future lay beyond the walls. Doubt they understood half of it, but still.
Idiots. Why's it gotta be this way? Why can't people just live their own dreams?
The walls are a powerful idea. We've survived for 100 years because of them. No one's keen on tempting fate. I may not agree with that statement, but I can see where they're coming from. It's human nature, Eren. When all is said and done, the government's policies are a reflection of our fear.
Well, the rest of the herd, maybe. I should say to hell with them! Someone's going to hear you. Keep it down. What do I care? You rat me out in any way. What? Mikasa never promised you anything. Wait, hold on. What you guys are trying to say to each other? Your friends know about the scouts? Basically, but they're not too pleased. Of course not. We are never gonna figure out how Titans work. Not wondering why people are not pleased with all the drama and tetry around the world at the moment. Yeah, big shot. Shit.
It's sad.
Exactly. Tell me about it, Armin. None of us are the same in this town. Either anyone. And I'm looking at those people in front of me right now that are the same. You, me, and everyone else. 2 Armins, 1 Eren, 1 Mikasa, and everyone around us in our universe. And that's also sad. I mean, I had my hands covered in blood before, just by killing a deer in the forest. Dramatic events like these don't just keep escalating of interference of the sands of time. The spirit realm is into our hands. If you have hope, you have everything. The amount of years you guys must have spent experiencing the future of our daily lives. Their interference has nothing to do with Titans at all. There's only 13 years left until we make a new history by some other person that dies in our hands that we trusted for that time. But most people here are willing to set forward in exchange of some fleeting set of security, you know? And make no mistake, absolutely is fleeting. The walls can't hold on forever. Only a matter of time. Armin, give me your book for a second. I want to tell you guys how Titans really worked at Marley. And how they trampled our world, our homes, and our entire planet. So, let's go back the veil of time. Roughly a century ago, the Eldian Empire ruled the world of the mights of its titans in 2 countries facing the might as we known that we stick 3 times before. The body comes still as much of the number of lives that titans stolen. Such is the legacy of the founder, Ymir. And I know I do have problems with speaking, so you guys, like you, Armin, I actually do apologize if I try struggling speaking, because I know the backstory of how my family died during the war. I never really explained it that much to you guys before, but I'm about to reveal why Titans are ruling the universe right now. Our Earth, I mean. So much has been lost. Countless people have been cultures wiped out. History's crushed underfoot without pride. Eldia's history is all we have left. Ignoring tens of killing. You see, once the Eldians run out of foes to conquer, we get to find amongst ourselves, surviving for power. Thus began the Great Titan War, which saw 8 of the 9 Titans locked in endless cycles of bloodshed. But there was one brilliant Marleyan who saw in this chaos a path to victory. It was the heroic Pelagon we all know as Helos. Thanks to his cutting limitations, Eldian fighting grew far worse. The Eldian Empire grew weak. Then Helos joined hands with the Tiber family, and they forced the supposedly unlegal King Fritz to retreat to a far-flung island. in his subjugations. That said, we fought with his power intact, and his rank continued. With him, he took tens of millions of titans ready to trample the world at his command. It's believed that our world continues to exist unbroken for one reason at all: chances. Our scholars can feel no better explanation. In order to fight this existential threat, their motherland Marley set a team of 4 Titan warriors to take the founder, but they were soundly beaten, and only the armored Titan returned. It's clear now, the ancient engine of cruelty called the Eldian Empire is alive and well, intact, of the dark empire of human history. Wait, hold on. So you're trying to tell me that we were created? By who? A person above the clouds called God, I guess. We don't just appear out of nowhere from the sands of time, giving them the existence and subjugations to slay and slaughter. But I know that you guys are trying to make myself explain all this clearly to you, but I can't really tell if I'm making much sense to you all. Since my name hasn't been revealed to you guys yet, the only way to know my name is to just keep moving forward until every last one of those titans have completely been evaporated from this world. But most of you consider that history he just recounted to be common in knowledge, but he stand here now to inform them that is similar to divorce from truth. Intact. But I know this because the Warhammer isn't the only inheritance the type of family bestows. We pass down memories as well. Truth, which I will now share with you. Some 100 years in the past, the Great Titan War was ended, not by Hallows, nor by a person called Willie Tiber, nor by their Titan forebears. The savior who ended the fighting, the hero who saved the world, was King Fritz himself. He was plagued by guilt over the Eldian Empire's vicious past. He'd grown weary of watching families in countrymen and torn by war. The ability and the question how the Titans woke up in this world, and the island, Paradi. They just kept moving to reach their goals, and one girl, who was the first person in the world to inherit the founding Titan, was Ymir Fritz, the daughter of the 3 Walls. Look around you. The 3 Walls, inherited by Walmaria, Walrose, and Walsina, are the 3 daughters of King Fritz himself. Again, I will say this the second time, but I had to give you some disclaimer of how the founder woke up to this island and trampled the earth, trapping the colossal titans inside the walls, getting ready for the final task of the battle. He'd grown weary of watching families and countrymen torn apart by war, and he wept from Marley in a nation under constant pressure. So when he inherited the founding Titan, he plotted his own downfall with the Tigers. Together, we created a Marleyan hero who would drive the king out. His name? Hellos, again. After that, King Fritz moved as many Eldians to Paradi as he could, erecting his great walls around them. He left a warning that if anyone threatened his peace, countless Titans would be unleashed in retaliation. With that said, our world will be destroyed by the owl, Eren Kruger. However, he never intended to make good on those threats. King Fritz made a vow renouncing war, and bound his successors to uphold it, just as he had. Thus his ideology was passed down to each new king of the walls, and the Titans with the power to crush the world remained dormant. Marley didn't stop Eldia, and chance hasn't kept the world from being crushed. It was the king of the walls, Karl Fritz, a man who yearned for peace, yarned, controlled, displeased, arrested, erased, killed, subjugated, extended, intituated. All of those combined its strength to the Marleyan Empire. And this ginormous monster summons the person around its arms, continuously drinking blood of the devils around them. With that said, he had everything. The standards. All of it within him was crushed. And that's all he ever wanted. He said if Marley grew strong someday and came in force to shatter his peace and seize the founding titan, he would accept it. He believed the sins his people committed were so horrific that they could never be atoned for. When the day of retribution finally comes, I will accept it. But until then, let me enjoy this world paradise free from strife. Wait, hold on, stop there. So you're telling me that the colossal titans, after all these years, are inside the three walls? Like, how is it possible? It's not all. If the three walls exploded by the person transforming, all of the colossal titans in the water, the ocean, the buildings, the ground, the trees, they all evolve evolution. It will make half the world completely surrounded until he reached his goal. I ask for nothing but a brief span of peace. Those were the final words the king left us with. Intacted, erased, fleas, false, interrogated. And the Taiva family never really saved the world in reality. But the truth is, the 9 power of the Titans have the possibility of 25.7% of having and inherited the founder. And that's called the Attack Titan. But again, it's true. To secure our own safety, their family joined hands with King Fritz and became heroes to the world, while their fellow aliens became devils. But plainly, their Tibers are petty thieves, growing fat in honor they did not earn, complaining the situations called the execution for the person that inherited the founding titan. During the event, when King Fritz was about to get assassinated by some warriors, everything flipped. 13 years later, since the founder, Ymir Fritz, inherited the power of the Titans, first in the world, the 3 walls, the colossal Titans trapped inside, summoned, false, interrogated, again, flipped. The king was about to get assassinated, but at this 1 second, the warrior threw a staff at the king. But then the little girl, the person that inherited the founding titan 13 years ago, saved them, throwing a staff through her heart, leaving her rot on her deathbed, something that she didn't earn. But still, she's waiting in the spirit realm, as the real name called the Paths. The giant blue-yellow tree awaits the founding titan to awaken King Fritz's powers. As we all know, the Time Shifter, aka the Undead Centipede. They all stand before us, winningly pardoned with their false glory, because they come to understand that the world we share is in great danger. With the 9 powers of the Titans connected to their memories to confront the situation, the attack, the armored, the female, the jaw, the cart, the colossal, the warhammer, the beast, and the skull crusher. And the only one we have never even spotted or experienced the treachery terror in human history, again, the centipede. With the founder's might, King Fritz erected 3 walls using a great host of colossal titans. Like I said early on for the story of how the titans walked over the earth, they still continued on for another few centuries later on. Counted together, the walls surely contained tens of millions of colossal titans trapped inside. They guarded the king's peace as his shield and his spear. Or they did. But now that peace is being threatened from within, the uprising has taken place on Paradi. The king has been deposed, the founding titan stolen. The thief is an enemy to every man, woman, and child outside of its island. An enemy of peace. And the person who has the founder still continues on, who lived for centuries or even thousands of years. First, we had the owl, Eren Kruger. Now he's been inherited of the Attack Titan. And we don't know who continues on and who has the Attack Titan. Because the Attack Titan has the highest possibility chance of inheriting the Founding Titan. And how such knowledge has been yielded on from the ocean, like what they've wished for all this time, being manipulated. Because if the Founding Titan has been destroyed, all of the 9 Titans will be vanquished, evaporated, and erased from human history. And then after that, none of them would ever even experienced or remembered it, or even anything. And that the colossal titans of Paradi are ordered to walk the rumbling will felt across the earth, and death will follow. Until now, only royalty has the power to yield to the Founding Titan, and King Fritz's vow has kept his descendants from using it. And if this person has found a way to use the Founder without having the royal blood, which means he could begin the rumbling at any moment. Once the walls of Paradi begin to walk, there will be nothing we can do, except flee in vain from the sound of earth-shaking steps that will herald our doom. These monsters will crush every city, trample every tree and flower. They will literally flatten our world. And they might be exactly right, because that person is the bad guy. No one even stopped him, since they realized in that very moment, but into their eyes, they look the bad guys to themselves. They have always hated their blood, and more than anyone else, they wish that their race would disappear. Fleeted, destroyed, false, truth, erased. However, they confess that I want to live, that despite everything, they believe this world is my blight just as yours. The people gathered here may belong to different races, different nations, but if we're to survive this crisis, then we're the first time in history we must join this one. With them. If you wish to live, then lend me their strength. Help them protect our world's future. The hope for humanity still lives on. And if we work together, we can overcome any obstacle, any threat. It's like having an invisible force field, and I may be right. The same as you guys. All of them. The royal blood is in you, and you have everything. Including you, Eren. What? What I'm trying to say is, I ask each and one of you to join me as I go to fight the devil, to plunge our world into hell. Help me defeat them. Keep them the advantage to hold off the Titan's royal blood, and all of the 9 powers of the Titans will completely evaporate from existence without knowing. Hearing now, as the representative of Marley's government, they send to this message, Willie Tiber. The devils of Paradi still gets evolving. The same strength until now. They still go beyond evolution. As they proclaim, on this day from now, 13 years later, they will reach to their goal. To the enemy forces of Paradi, this is the declaration of war. I'm so moved. King Fritz was a liar? How could this be? I can't understand this properly. So you're telling me that this structuring event can happen at any moment? How'd you know all of this? Is the book. I didn't really have enough confidence to tell you by the pages and all the paintings, the pictures, because I always knew that King Fritz would have been exposed by now after that treachery event. I just keep moving forward until I destroyed my enemies. And Eren, help me keep that promise. Always remind of my sentence, so the royal blood can be worthy as a combatant. What? You guys alright? I know it sounds serious, but 13 years to fight? Which means we might lose a friend. The nameless person that we don't know. Well, I should say the nameless kid. I don't even know your name yet, but hopefully we get to know your name very soon. Armin, are you okay? My past self may look worried, but I never would have thought until this very moment he would have looked terrified. His head feels warm, but silent. What shall we do? Just let him rest. Perhaps I probably revealed too much of you guys. I don't want you guys to feel much worse. Because you guys are just important in our very own town. Dreadly survivors of this country, I am truly sorry. I wish I can offer you some words of comfort, but I cannot. It is my home. I would even have the ability to corrupt the universe, which has plagued us for so long. But you're in my heart. I only know any more dimensions will be last forever, as we continue our journey towards peace.